All right, good morning, everyone.
Dang.
All right, I am Holly Sutton. I'm VP of Chapters and Regions this year.
If everybody could hit your mute buttons,
Yeah.
I'm going to go in and get some people.
Thanks, Doug. I tried to do that and I don't have capability.
No, Holly does need to talk to us.
Yeah, I unmuted myself.
Okay, you
All
should be
right.
good now. Please go ahead.
All right, thanks, Doug. All right, good morning, everyone. I am Holly Sutton. I'm your VP for Chapters and Regions this year, and I have the pleasure of moderating this session. This morning, we're going to hear from Miss Deb
Dowdy.
Yes, her name says Brian. It's not Brian today. We had the pleasure of hearing from him yesterday. We're going to hear from her today, and she is going to talk about how to overcome the overwhelm and get more peace back in your life. Just a couple of things. Sorry for starting late today. We were having some technical difficulties, like always with technology. For those attending, if you want to check the town hall, there you're going to find updates on sessions, opportunities to win prizes, and you can post your takeaways from sessions that you'd like to share.
I forgot my sweater. Holly, you muted yourself.
I think Doug muted me when he was trying to mute everybody else coming in. All right, so I don't know what was last heard. So we're just going to jump right in. Anybody coming in, please go ahead and mute yourself if Doug isn't already on it. We're going to save questions until later. You can type them into the chat for Miss Deb. And you are good to start, Miss Deb.
All right. Okay. Well, welcome, everybody. I am Deb Dowdy, and I know I get Doherty, Downey, Howdy Dowdy, all those kinds of great things with my name, but it's all good. So just call me Deb. It's fine. And this morning, I have a question for you before I start my PowerPoint. Did you wake up and say, thank God it's morning? Or did you go, oh, good God, it's morning? Because we're going to talk today a little bit about finding more clarity, get more peace of mind, and stop the self-sabotage. So here I go. Let's see. Can everybody see that? And Holly, if you don't mind, because when I show my slides, I don't see anything else. So if you can just tell me, verbally say, yes, you're good to go. Am I good?
Yes, somebody's saying that they're seeing the slides now. You're good.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. And anytime throughout this, if you don't mind, Holly, if you can't hear me or something goes array, just kind of verbally tell me because I won't be able to see anything, okay? Thanks so much. And today I'm just glad to be here with all of you. And I know it's been difficult times throughout this whole year just with everything going on. So my topic is how to overcome the overwhelm and get more peace back in your life. I am a coach. I'm a transformational coach. I'm a speaker and a REST practitioner. And REST actually stands for Rapid Reprogramming of Emotional Stress Response. So that's where I literally go into the subconscious and kind of rework around blocks that we may have. But I'll tell you more about that at another time. I would like to tell you a little bit about myself. And I actually, I've been speaking for quite some time and I've been coaching for quite some time as well. And, a lot of times I run into people who feel overwhelmed. They're stressed out. They're so busy running around doing everything for everybody else that they're left feeling depleted. They lose joy. And you know what? They wind up getting so stressed out that they don't even know how they got there in the first place. And then second, they don't know how to get rid of it once they have it. I don't know if anybody has ever felt that way, but I know I certainly have. And you know what? I'm actually a recovering type A personality. Shh, okay? So don't tell anybody, but I'm telling you all, okay? But if you know anything about that, then, it has been a struggle for me throughout the years up until, I learned my lessons, which I'm going to share with you today. I grew up in North Carolina later on in life, but growing up, I was in New York. I have a little bit of a twangy accent if you can't hear it, but from New York, I grew up with showing horses. We had a couple horses. I was very driven. I was always having to take care of the animals. My mother was a single mother for a long, long time until I was about 16 years old. And being on like a little farm, we always had to work. We had to be disciplined. That's where I learned my work ethic, right? But no matter how we felt, no matter what the weather was, we had to get out there and just do, and go, 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 go. And later on, I actually moved to North Carolina. I was in college and I got recruited by the Walmart Corporation, and I worked for the Sam's division of Walmart. And again, the reason why I bring that up is because I can relate to so many of you. I was in corporate America at a very young age. I was there for over 10 years, and I became a regional sales and marketing manager for the Sam's Club division. And again, it was so driven. I had to turn on a dime. I was leading people. I was traveling. I was coaching people. I was training, and I had children as well. I had gotten married. Here's my two beautiful children, my daughters, and then Cody, he's my son that I mentor. So I had later in life, I picked up another child and I started my own business, the Deb Dowdy Consulting Group. And again, with all of that, I was so driven. I was go, 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 go. And then later on, I became a single mom. And let me tell you, I know being a mom is hard in itself. Being a mom and working is hard, but being a single mom and working and balancing everything, it really got crazy. So I was actually, I'm telling you, I was getting so stressed out that I ran into obviously a problem. And not only was I getting stressed out, I was actually, my health was starting to fail in some ways. You know, my mindset on things were starting to go just absolutely crazy. And again, I don't know if any of you can relate to that, but with the things that are going on this year as well, you know, so many people are like stressed out beyond max that if I didn't employ these things that I learned years ago, I would be the same way. But back then it was a watershed moment for me. And I said, this stress is either literally going to kill me or I was going to have to kill it. And when things start manifesting in your body and health issues, and I was getting, you know, crabby, to be honest, I was having some relationship issues. I was, you know, crabby with my kids, and then sometimes even the coworkers, and that wasn't a good place to be. So the first lesson that I learned actually is that I had a life management problem, not a time management problem. Okay. A life management problem, not a time management problem. And what I mean by that is I had to really learn how to dispense my energy into the things that I really wanted to prioritize. So I'll get a little bit more into that as well. I had an actual activity world view versus an energy worldview. And again, what do I mean by that? It means I had to, instead of activity going, go, 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 one thing to another, turning on a dime and just jumping from the next task to the next project to the next person that I needed to deal with all the time and wearing myself out, I had to learn how to disperse my energy and what did I have time to do? Where did I really want to put my energy? And did I have really, truly the mind space to be able to do that? Okay, so that was one of the lessons. And have you ever felt like this? Have you ever felt like sticking your head in the sand and just kind of like burying it and just having everything going away? I know I personally have, and it's not a fun place to be at all. When you come home at the end of the day and you're feeling entirely just depleted, you're losing your joy, and you're just all over the place. So the second lesson that I learned is I needed to stop measuring myself on the things that I did and how busy I was. So I don't know about you, but again, for me, I thought the busier I was, the more successful I was. And that's crazy. That is a crazy mindset to have. But I came again, you know, when I think I failed to tell you that, you know, having kids and being in corporate America and all that, I actually did wind up becoming a single mom. I know I did mention that, but I went through a very, very traumatic divorce. But being a single mom, running my own business and doing these things, I had to constantly turn on a dime. I was responsible for everything as I felt. And I just felt like if I didn't do everything every day that I had on my list, that I wasn't being successful. Okay. And then I measured myself on how busy I was being. And if I stopped to relax or just take a breather, there was something wrong with me. Brings me to the third lesson that I have learned. You have to actually be more first in order to get more. You have to be more first in order to get more. And what does that mean? That means we actually we do have to stop. We have to fill our cup. You'll hear me say that so many times when I'm working with clients and I'm speaking, and you have to fill your own cup first before you can ever, ever, ever truly help to fill other people's cup. Now, for all of you that are working with your, students and staff and all of that, you've got to be able to take time out for yourself to be more so you can actually get more. But ultimately what that does, it allows you to give more. It allows you to give more of yourself, more of your energy, more of, even, our money, right? Because when we can be more first, we attract more things to us, more abundance, right? More freedom, and we're able to help give more. And, John Maxwell actually said that, I learned this from him a long time ago. He said, you'll have a personal breakthrough before you ever have a professional breakthrough. So the one thing, hopefully you can see this, is I want you to remember that an empty lantern provides no light. An empty lantern provides no light. So we have to be more because it allows us to refresh. I had to develop self-care routines, and you know what? And understand that I had to let go of the guilt, and that it wasn't selfish to take time out for myself to be able to rejuvenate so I can be more creative, have less stress, right? And then be able to have the clarity that I needed to be able to serve others, to serve my clients, to serve the students that I had that I was developing, to serve my children and my family, all right? So you have to be more first before you can get more. And the fourth lesson that I learned with this all was I had to master my mindset. I had to master my mindset because you know what? Your mind does matter. It matters so much. And if you are on the presentation yesterday with Brian Hilliard, and actually if you haven't figured that out, yes, we are partners and we're life partners as well. But you know what? It is so important, just like he talked about, mastering your mindset as well. And for me, that comes down to intentionality. It comes down to what we focus on grows. Remember that. What we focus on grows. And what we think about, right? We speak about, we can actually bring about. So that's good or that's bad. And we have to remember that. And, and not to get, well, let me just put it this way. Even in the Bible, it says we have to renew our mind every single day. Renew our minds every single day. That's why it's so, so, so important. Now, the good news is, with all that I shared with you so far, I was able to reprioritize and put myself first. I was able to start living a more peaceful, abundant life, truly transforming what the stress was doing to me. And if you look at that diamond there, what does a diamond start with? It starts from a piece of charcoal, doesn't it? So a diamond is just a piece of charcoal that handles stress exceptionally well. So we have to learn how to manage all of that. I even got my black belt in a Korean martial arts called Tung Sudo. Woo, Tung Sudo. And yes, I'm tiny but mighty, tiny but mighty. I absolutely loved it. So I had to take on different things, to be able to do things for myself, to fill my cup. And actually, I did this with my youngest daughter. She is the one that's having some assistance holding the board when I was breaking it. That's my youngest daughter, Vanessa. We both became black belts. So that was a nice thing to do together. And now I live in North Carolina, speaking on topics on how to overcome the overwhelm and put more time back in your day, how to find your voice in difficult times, getting unstuck and getting on track to live a life of by design, and teaching meditation and mindfulness workshops for resiliency and ease. And, I don't know about you guys, but with everything that's going on in the world today, I certainly can understand all the uncertainty that's going on. That's what I'm certain about. There's so much uncertainty, especially with the virus, right? And there's this underlying stress. It's just like a low-grade radiation that's going through the atmosphere everywhere, right? Whether it's at home or it's at the job, it's around other people, but this low-grade radiation that's going around, right? And it affects people. Stress affects people in so many different ways. But you know what? There's actually some people thinking that it's not affecting them at all. But guess what? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And my overall point really with that is just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not affecting you right now. And just because it's not affecting you now doesn't mean that you have to allow it to affect you later on going forward. Okay. And, if you would have told me, just like most of you all, if you would have told me that in the beginning of the year, I would be spending 80% of my time at home with my life partner in the same house, all this time together, which, it is a great thing. Don't get me wrong, that we actually do get to work out of our homes because we have our own businesses. But, I'm a social person. I love going out and doing things for myself, and we get to spend time with some family and friends, but we haven't been able to do that, right? So now, with the stress that's going on, it's added stress at home as well. If you told me that then with all this going on, that I'd be home 80% of the time with him without told you I'm a black belt, giving him some karate chops or flipping him down on the mat or anything like that, or just kind of locking him up. And of course I'm joking, you guys, of course I'm joking. And just by the way, if you have any of those other thoughts with your own spouses or life partners, guess what? The spouse always gets caught. Somebody's echoing. So the spouses always get caught. They always do. So do not try it unless you have 5 other people that are saying that they were with you at the same time. Okay, so don't try that. But seriously, a lot of people are under stress. You're working from home right now. Some of you are working literally in your workspace, going to work. You're coming home. Some of you are telecommuting and you're doing going to the office. So you're kind of doing a combination of both, which adds extra stress to the home life as well. So, it's so important, you guys, to really take time. Got some echoing and there we go. It's really important to take time out to be able to allow yourself to have more peace back in your life, because, it doesn't have to be that way, that we're having so much stress. Because your life partners, your spouses, your coworkers, the students that you're involved in, everybody typically is coming from a good heart, right? They want the best you want the best for your students, you want the best for your staff, you want the best for your family. So all that stress that we have and we're bottling up, it really doesn't have to be that way. So what I want you to do, excuse me, is to imagine a life with clarity and having more fulfillment and living that abundant life, okay? So what I'm gonna teach you, a few more things here, is point number 1. This will help you to feel less stressed, overwhelmed, and not feel like you're killing yourself in the process. So it's something called open loop, closed loop. And what do I mean by that? It means that, especially if you're a type A personality and you're very, very driven, what it means is I would rather, and I learned this, I would rather do 3 or 4 things, 100%, get those things done, those projects, those commitments, 3 or 4 things done 100% versus having 7 or 8 things that are totally open and they're done 50% of the way. Hopefully that makes sense to you. But when you do that, when you're able to just focus on a few things and get those done and closed up 100%, what it does is it gives you more clarity. It actually provides more time for you because you are able to get and be more productive with the things that you're doing. And you have more mental capacity to be able to complete the next project because your mind is not scattered all over the place. It's kind of like having that great sensation when you have a pile of papers, right? And you file everything away and it has its own place and you shut the door, right? You shut the tab on it. That's what this means. Open loop, closed loop. It's closing the things so you're not having that so much mental space over that so you can have more productivity and more peace. Okay. And this is actually why, excuse me, apologize, but this is why I multitask less. Okay. So a lot of people actually wear multitasking as like a badge of honor. And that's not the way to be either. Something that I learned is I had to be busy in the right things versus just being busy. Okay. So I had to learn what my MVPs were. I actually learned that from Darren Hardy, who's the publisher of Success Magazine. If you like Success Magazine, I love it, love it, love it. And MVPs are your most vital priorities. I had to learn to work through that versus, again, multitasking on several different things and trying to complete all of them. So that's point number 1. Point number 2. I know you would love this. I had to say no to more things. I had to say no, set healthy boundaries, and let go of the guilt. And when you're able to do that, you're able to be less stressed and get more peace. And why is that? If you remember, right, you can't be everything to everybody and do everything for everyone, right? And an empty lantern provides no light, does it? It doesn't. So when you set healthy boundaries around saying no, you're actually saying yes to yourself. Okay. So you have to actually have a reset on your mind around this, around saying no. So you have to, in my personal opinion, realize that, again, you can't do everything for everybody. And you have to be able to give yourself grace. First and foremost, give yourself grace. But we have to reframe it, right? You have to ask, do I even have the energy or the mind space to be able to do the things that this person or this committee is asking me to do, to this new project, right? This program or whatever the situation is. It could be your kids coming to you, asking you to do something else, right? And we're just so wanting to say yes, because that's in our nature if you're type A and you're go, 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 right? And here's the other thing, okay? And I promise you this. When you're really, really great at something, right? Whether it's at work, at home, at your church, in an organization, don't they always come to ask you to do more things? And it's not a bad thing, right? It's not necessarily a bad thing, but that's because you're so good at it that you're efficient, right? And they just want to keep asking you to do more. So the easiest way to say no, because you have to remember as well, if you don't mind me saying this, not all things that come to you, not all great possibilities are the best opportunities or possibilities to pursue at that time. Like I had to come off of different boards and organizations and saying yes to a lot of my friends and the different things that they were involved in as well. So when you say no, here's the simplest thing I can teach you to be able to say no gracefully. Somebody asks you, and again, you have to decide, do I have the time, the mind space to be able to do this? And, all you have to say is, thank you so much for asking, but I'm already committed. It's as simple as that, you guys. Thank you for asking me. Oh, I'm very honored for you even to ask me that, but I'm already committed. Thank you so much. Maybe you can ask me again back in the spring. And then just stop, okay? Because when you say no to doing less, you're saying yes to yourself. And ultimately, that serves you to your best as high as good. You're not so worn out, and you're able to be more productive and creative to be able to, again, serve others. Okay? So hopefully, you'll say no more, right? You'll say no more. Okay. This next thing I want to teach you real quick, we're going to take a really quick 2-minute exercise, because I know some of you are saying, oh my gosh, how can I say no to people? Okay. If you were like me back when, that's how I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to say no. Of course I can take on all these different things, right? Well, there's a quick breathing exercise that I'm going to teach you. Promise, takes 2 minutes. And it helps to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. It deactivates the sympathetic nervous system, which actually regulates our fight or flight response. Again, which helps to reduce stress, produces a relaxing effect. So what I want you to do, everybody, is I want you to close your eyes for just a minute. And you're going to breathe, you're going to inhale 4 deep breaths in through your nose. So you're going to go, not, okay. So 4 deep breaths, inhale through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you hold it for 4 count. You're going to hold your breath for 4 counts. And then you release out your nose for 4 counts. Okay. So I want everybody to do this with me just for about a minute or so. So everybody close your eyes, because when you're feeling some angst around saying no to different things, or you have an angst in general, this is a great way to help you reduce the stress and relax right on the moment. So everybody take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And release for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 4. 4. And release for 4. And we'll do it again. Inhale, 4 count. Hold for 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And release for 4. Again, one more time. In for 4. Hold. And release for 4. Okay, great. Good job, everybody. Good job. Can you just feel that just releases right then and there? Okay. So you can do that at well, we're going to go to questions at the end, but you can do that any time, okay? Anytime that you're feeling a little anxious, right before a meeting, right before getting on a presentation, having to work with the students, and then jumping from one thing to the next, you can do that anytime, and it just totally relaxes you, okay? The next point is, again, is about getting mindful before work. So I know Brian actually talked a little bit about his morning routine. This is a little different. So yesterday, yes, having a morning routine is so important, but this one is about 10 minutes right before you go to work. And I'm going to invite you to go ahead and to do this, what we're going to be talking about, okay? So when you are sitting down at your desk, or even before you get to your desk, okay, what you're going to do is, you could do this even in the car before you go into work, okay? But what you want to do is find, and if you need a link, let me know. Just send me a text and I'll give you my information at the end. But send me a text, and what you can do is you can play some peaceful music. It's just mindful music in the morning before and as you're sitting down at your desk, and I did this morning. And what you're going to do is just write out, write out a goal or a situation that you're working on. what you want to get accomplished maybe that day. So you physically write it out. Okay, you take about 2 minutes to write that out. And I would love and invite you to make sure that you're writing this down, because this is so basic, but it's so powerful, so powerful. So write out what your goal is, what you're working on, 2 to 3 minutes. And you're listening to peaceful music, okay? And I have some different links to share with you if you'd like that. You'll just, shoot me a text, okay? And then the next thing that you're going to do is, and yes, it's going to be 10 things. Write out 10 things that you are grateful for. 10 things that you are grateful for. Past, present, and or future. The things to come. When you're writing those things out, I keep a journal to do this exercise every single day. Okay? When you're writing these things out, then you think about when you're saying you're grateful for whatever. I was saying one of my things this morning was I'm grateful for this presentation, to be able to just be a little bit of a ray of sunshine for you all today. And when I was writing it out, I was thinking about it and getting into the feeling of why I was grateful for it, right? So when you're writing out these things, think about why you're grateful for them. So write out the 10 things that you are grateful for, okay? And really feel it, because remember, gratitude is the key to abundance. Gratitude is the key to abundance. And then what I would like you to do is then you say them out loud. You say all 10 out loud to yourself. I'm grateful for this, right? And then you say thank you 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay? And the next part of this, this is almost like a little bit of forgiveness. I want you to think about 3 people that you can literally send love to. 3 people that have irritated you. Let's say it that way. Some people that have irritated you, whether it's currently or in the past, or even a situation, okay? It could be something from 20 years ago. And what I do is I put my right hand on my heart, my left hand on my abdomen, and I close my eyes and I just say, I imagine that person just real quick, and I just say, I send love to you, I send love to you, I send love to you. Okay? And this may sound a little like, but I'm telling you, it works. It works because we have, sometimes we still have resentment going on in our heart about different things. Again, whether it's a person, a situation, whether it's present, past, or maybe even something that you're irritated on that's coming up. Okay, so it's a way to help to release that. And then the last part of this exercise for you is you take 3 to 4 minutes and ask for guidance. Okay, that could be a little bit more prayer time if that's what you want to call it. But ask for guidance. Ask God, ask the universe, whatever your divinity is, ask for guidance on. It could be something in general. It could be something specifically that you're working on. It can be something that, you're a situation you're trying to get through. But take 3 to 4 minutes and ask for guidance on that. Okay? So that is my morning routine before I actually, as soon as I come to my desk and I sit in my office, I take out a journal and I do that every single morning. And I promise you, it helps to set your day. It helps you to be less overwhelmed. And again, to help to have the more peace. Okay. So that was point number 3. Point number 4. Point 4 is release tension and set intention. So this kind of just, streamlines really well right after what I was just teaching you, right? So Socrates said that the human excellence is a state of mind. So what does this mean? Release tension, set intention. Well, there is, all day long, there is a series of transactions, right? Transactions all day long that we're doing. So the simplest thing that I found to actually help to overcome the overwhelm and get more peace back in my life is to master these transitions, okay? Our day comprises of transitions all day long. So Brenda Burchard, he said that these transitions are immensely valuable a powerful space of freedom between activities. And it's in this space that you'll discover your greatest restorer of amplified energy. So I actually learned this. I'm going to teach it to you. I learned this from him actually a while ago from his book, High Performance Habits. If you don't have it, I would totally recommend it. It's very, very good. High Performance Habits by Brendan Burchard. And what this is going to be, excuse me, is I want you to think about all the different transitions that you have all day long. For me, I'm going from one client to the next. I'm working on a project. I might have to do a video. Then I'm on social media, then I'm working out, and then I'm with my partner, and then I'm with my animals. So there's transitions all day long, right? So here, I want you to ask yourself these questions. Do you ever carry over any negative energy from the activity to the next? I bet you do. I know I have. Do you ever feel depleted, but still going on to the next thing and not even taking a break or going to the bathroom when you actually need to? I know I've done that too, right? So what I'm going to have you do and learn this practice, it's so simple again, but yet so profound, guys. So simple. So I want you just to relax for a minute. And I know you've been enjoying the conference and you had a great time yesterday and you had a great networking event and now we're kicking it off this morning, right? I just want you to kind of relax. But as you think about all the transitions that you have every day, right? This is what we're going to do is you're going to be closing your eyes, and we're going to do this at the end, but you're going to close your eyes and then you're going to say the word, whether it's in your mind or out loud, release, release, release. And you're going to keep saying release, 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 release. Okay? And what that's going to do is you're actually going to feel like your shoulders start to drop. Your body is just going to kind of sink into the chair or whatever you're sitting on, right? Your whole being just gets relaxed. And you just release, release, release. And we're going to do this as an exercise, okay? And then you're releasing your mind, you're releasing your spirit, you're releasing and relaxing your body, and you'll physically feel your shoulders dropping. And then the next part of this is after you do that, then you set the intention. You set an intention on how do I want to feel to this next, transition that I'm going into. How do I want to be when I'm doing this next activity? What kind of energy do I want to have? How do I want to show up as a person, as a professional? How do I want to be with my students? What kind of, character do I need to have in this next with my students or with my staff or with my family members? What kind of energy do I need to have for the next task or the person that I'm encountering? Okay. So just by doing this, you can manage your stress better, you calm the overwhelm, and it brings you back actually to the moment, which is more peace. So we're going to try this right now, everybody. Okay, right now. Yes, right now. Okay. So again, I just want you to relax. I want you to close your eyes. Just close your eyes. And I want you to say the words, release, release, release. Release, release, release. Release, release, release. And as you're doing that, you have your hands open like this. Just release, release, release. Release, release, release. Release, release, release. And you'll do this for a minute, 2 minutes if you need to. And just keep doing that. And feel your shoulders just releasing. Feel your body just relaxing. Feel your spirit just getting energized, but relaxing as well. And breathe and then release, 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 release. And then set the intention on when we finish this part of the conference and you go into your next, hour of whatever it may be, what kind of intention, what kind of energy do you want to have? How do you want to show up to that? And just set that intention. Okay. Yes, and release, release, release. And breathe, and you just breathe deeply when you're doing this, and you release, release, release. So these simple things are very simple, but again, yet so profound. And I actually do this, and you guys can laugh, okay? You can laugh, I don't mind. But I do this before as soon as I get into the car, before I drive, because you know what? There is some crazy drivers out there, aren't there? Yes, there is. So I get in the car, I sit there just for a minute, and I do this practice, right? And I'm like, okay, what kind of driver? I want to be a peaceful, calm driver. I want to be able to get to my destination in one piece safely, right? I want to be able to, after I get done with doing this, I have a client at about 12:15. So I need to shift and say, okay, how do I want to show up for my client? What kind of energy that I want to be there for her? Okay. How do I need to be in a relaxed state, totally focus on her and what's going on for her, right? And leave the conference behind for a little bit, right? So think about those things, but I do it before I drive, before the next, client call that I have, before dinner with Brian, before making videos, before I, go on and finish different PowerPoints for different speaking engagements, before I do my workshops. You get the point, right? It's a mindfulness practice that I've implemented that has brought me so much joy and peace, and it helps to stop the overwhelm and helps to stop actually having poor performance. Okay, so I want you to imagine a life. We're going to open this for questions and answers here in just a minute, but I want you to imagine a life where you have more clarity and you stop the self-sabotage so you can overcome the overwhelm and get more peace back in your life. Because if you employ some of the lessons that I've shared with you that I was able to learn along the way, I promise you, you will feel more peace. And if you employ the points that we went over today, you will have less overwhelm. You will have more clarity, and you can stop the self-sabotage. If we don't do this, guys, what happens is we have worry and concern, right? You have concern, which turns into worry, which turns into anxiety. It turns into overwhelm, and then it turns into confusion and indecisiveness. And that is not where anybody wants to be, do we? Of course not. So again, imagine a life where you have more clarity, you stop the self-sabotage so you can overcome the overwhelm and get more peace back in your life. And today, I have a free gift for you. I have a complimentary breakthrough discovery session with myself. Anybody that is wanting to, I'll speak with you for about quick 20, 30 minutes. I would love the opportunity to hear what's going on for you. I know things with uncertain times that we have, they can be stressful, but we can manage that stress. We can be that diamond, right? That's that coal that gets made into that diamond because we're able to manage the stress better. Stress is not going to go away, you guys. It's not. But it's a matter of how we manage it, okay? So I would love to hear what's going on for you in your life, your personal life, professional life, whatever it may be for you. You can share that with me. I'll share some more tips with you that I personally do to help me get through those times and possibly what I'm helping with some of my clients with. I'll share those with you as well. And we'll just see. We'll have a great conversation back and forth, and we'll see what, again, is coming up for you and maybe what I can assist you with, but I definitely will give you some tips along the way. And I would love, love, love if you can go ahead. I know Brian had everybody take out their cell phone. So what I'm going to do is invite you to take out your cell phone and take down my number. It is 910-670-9172. And shoot me a quick text later on throughout the day and let me know one thing that you are going to implement from today's session. One thing that you will implement from today's session. And if you would like to have that discovery breakthrough session with me, absolutely. Just text me that as well, or shoot me an email. My email is very simple, deb@debdowdy.com. I promise to get back to each and every one of you. And again, you're not in this alone, and you know that. And I'm so thankful for the conference that we're having with you all, and that you're able to get together with your peers and mentors and just be able to celebrate all your accomplishments and take these personal development sessions that you are for yourselves as well. I just applaud you very much. I know being an educator and being in that realm is not easy whatsoever. And I do work with many people in education, and you can be able to have less stress, more peace in your life, and less overwhelm. So Holly, I'm gonna have you take it away. Let me see if I can, in the slideshow, how do I go back? Hold on, sorry guys. Let me go back to.
Oh, you did good. That was your 10-minute timer.
All right. I am trying to get so I can see everybody again. Hold on. I'm so sorry. I'm trying to figure out how I go back to going to see everybody. I apologize.
If you can unshare your screen, that might be the easiest way for you on that Chromebook.
Okay. Hold on one sec. That's what I'm trying to do.
Our conference hero, Doug.
I'm just going to go back to Zoom.
All right, Deb, while you're doing that, I just want to, on behalf of the association, thank you for presenting today. It seemed the chat that you missed, everybody seemed to enjoy this session and are looking for this session to be shared with some other people that they know. So I do want to address that these sessions are being recorded and they will be shared at a later time. I'm just not sure where they will be just yet. So thank you, Deb. Did anybody have any questions for her? We've got about 9 minutes left. If anybody had any questions.
Oh, thank you. I'm seeing some of the comments on the chat. Thank you. Yeah, we have some time. Thank you. Thank you, Marjorie. I'd love to, I know if Holly can save the questions, and I'd love to be able to take the time to answer them for you. We have a, oh, you guys, thank you so much. It makes my heart full. So, oh, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Yeah, all the different things that are going on right now, you know, we're in uncertain times, but, you know, we aren't, you know, we are resilient. Yes, thank you, Dr. John, appreciate that. We are resilient people. We are resilient people, and we can either allow the circumstances to take us, or we can allow it to mold us, right? We can be bitter about things, or we can be better. And I choose to be better. I choose to help people work through what they're working through to be better, right? Nobody wants to just sit on their laurels and just allow things to happen to them, do they? No, we have to kind of be like, you know, Medea, if you know Medea, like I love Medea, right? We have to kind of karate chop, you know, our minds, and we have to be able to move through and have resiliency, but be able to do these things that will serve you well. And again, some of these things may be very basic, but they're so, so profound, so profound. And before some of you, oh, you're welcome. Very good. I hope you do, Gloria. Very good. Thank you. 3 jobs, yes, working. Believe me, as a single mom and running my own business, there was times I actually had to take on some part-time jobs as well. So I relate so much to so many of you. And it's not hard to do what I was, yes, thank you, Dr. John, to put that there. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, Rita. I appreciate that. But reach out to me. Again, my number is 910-670-9172. shoot me a text. I'd love to know, again, what's one thing that you're going to implement from today's session. And I'd love to have you take me up on that free discovery breakthrough session. You know, you have nothing to lose, but everything to gain. Absolutely. Oh, thanks, Marjorie, for doing that. Absolutely. 670-9172. And my email is Deb, D-E-B, at Deb, D-E-B, Doughty, DOUGHTY.com. And again, is there any questions? I know some of you are saying some things in the chat that I can see a little bit, but any questions?
Obi, I was just about to say that. We had a question way earlier.
Okay. What's that one?
Oh, I thought that she was talking. She said, what about the stress from working in an office when you would rather work from home?
That is, okay. That's a good question. And shoot me a text and we definitely can talk a little bit more about that. But the bottom line is to really employ some of these practices that I said, right? And that I invite you to do. It's not like do it because I said so, but learn from the lessons that I learned the hard way, right? Be more peaceful at work. You know, do the 10-minute, I promise you, that little 10-minute exercise before you go to work and you're in at work, okay? That will help you. And you have to figure out, you know, what are my boundaries? What do I feel safe with? And what are the opportunities there at work? What am I able to do? What am I not able to do? Like, what can I control and what I can't control? And work around those things and then have our mindset around that. Okay, but if you'd like to have a little bit one-on-one conversation about that, we definitely can do that. So I hope that helps a little bit. Okay. Anybody else? I know there was a couple more questions there or statements. I didn't see all of them. I apologize. You know, and just remember, you know, this is going on still for a little bit, but it is going to be temporary. It's temporary for a longer season in our life, right? And the other thing, obviously, you can do is, like somebody just put on there, is do the release and the breathing. Because again, what it comes down to is you can only, remember, it's a life management, right? So you have to choose to put yourself first. You have to choose to be able to, oh, you're welcome, everybody. You have to choose to be able to employ these mindfulness practices, these other lessons, or remember what I said, we can still be concerned, worry, please anxiety, overwhelm, and confusion. Okay, but I definitely say do the breathing exercises for sure. Figure out what you're in control of and what you're not in control of, and the choices that you have, like what are the options that you have. Really dive into that and figure out what options do you have. Okay. Anybody else? I actually saw my phone going off, so I already have a few texts. So I appreciate that very, very much. And we actually are going to have some different things coming up. Brian mentioned yesterday there's going to be some, looks like we're going to try to combine and do some workshops together. And I know I'm working with Marsha on a few things to do a different workshop, perhaps maybe around meditation and mindfulness. And I just want to appreciate all of you for being here and doing all that you do, because to be in education right now in this world, I just applaud each and every one of you. It is not easy, but you know what? You are resilient. You are resilient. And together you're getting through this. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you again, Deb, for sharing your presentation today. I think everybody who attended got a whole lot out of it, not just one takeaway. So thank you again for that. for our attendees. If you want to ask Deb any other questions, I know that Marjorie and I have both shared the text message in there and her email. It's also in the community section on your Attendify app. I just want to remind you that upcoming, we do have a lunch break, but we also have our virtual trade show and vendor fair. You can visit all of our vendors for this conference, thank them for sponsoring and making this a super affordable conference. And they also have door prizes to give away. So enjoy your lunch with our vendor fair. And thank you again so much, Deb.
Oh, you're welcome. It was my pleasure, Holly. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody, and have a beautiful day. I appreciate your time today. Thanks, guys. You're amazing, Holly. Thank you for moderating this.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. You guys have a good day, too. Bye-bye.
Okay, Deb, thank you. And Holly, thank you for moderating. That was a really good session. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate your help with all that.